I would like to start with a saying which goes like, the greatest danger which most of us will face is not that we aim too high and we will miss it, but it is that we aim too low and we will reach it. Hi, I'm Prashanth Kumar. I'm an Indian Administrative Service Officer of the 2021 batch, presently posted as Joint Commissioner, State Taxes, Vijayawada. When few days back, when the TED organizers invited me, I thought it's a great opportunity to interact with young students. Today I'm standing here not as some successful officer who have achieved something, but as someone once who stood there with a mind full of dreams to achieve, yet those dreams feeling distant. I want to share my story not because I feel it's extraordinary, but because I feel it's relatable. So I want to give a quick background before proceeding into the main story. I am from Parvatipuram, which is a town in north coastal Andhra. My father used to work in the Indian Army. He passed away when I was 10 years old. After that, my mom took care of me and my brother. I studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya, Nashik, in an army hostel, passing out with a pretty average score of 7.4 GPA. So this was my schooling period. After that, my family thought if I would do diploma, which is a 3 years course, I would be employment ready. And with this thought, I joined a diploma course. I took electrical engineering stream and I was going about with the flow. But when I approached the third year, I started bunking the classes, hanging out with friends, because of which I didn't have the percentage to sit in the final exam. So without any second thought, they have detained me. So most of the people who don't know what is detained meaning, it means I need to repeat my final year again sitting with the juniors while my classmates of 3 years will be walking out of the college. So this was a major shock for me because till then I never faced the consequences of my action. So this was like a major blow on my face. I regretted what I have done, but I didn't let the regret linger for long, because if you let it linger for long, it becomes a thief. But if you cut it short, it becomes a teacher. I promised my mom that I will learn from my mistakes at that point of time. And I thought, how can I redeem myself? Then I found an opportunity in that crisis that if at all I could manage to improve the percentage in the year which I was repeating, the overall average of my diploma could be improved. Now it doesn't matter a lot, but at that point of time, it felt like a great closure for what setback I have faced. And also parallelly, I thought I should not join engineering in Visakhapatnam because I would join as a junior to my classmates. So I thought my aim should be to join a top college in Hyderabad. So I want to iterate one thing. Whenever life knocks you down, don't let your dreams shrink to the fit to the fall. Aim higher, then only stand taller there. So then I thought, and I myself started waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and started preparing for ESET, and also I repeated my final year. So as a result, I got 307 rank in combined Andhra Pradesh and got admission into a top college in Hyderabad. So this was just a part one of the story. It doesn't mean that after entering engineering college, like all of you, my confusions went away and I was a studious student and I knew what needs to be done with college. Even I became more confused after entering engineering college because the ambition of the goal of doing something great was always there in the heart, but I didn't know where to fixate upon what needs to be done. One day I was imagining myself, I was waking up to become an Indian Army officer through CDX. The other day I was imagining myself to be becoming an film director. The next day, I'm thinking to become an entrepreneur. I even went to the extent of opening an online booking site to book banquet halls online. But when I toured this regarding in Hyderabad, I understood the practical difficulties and also the lack of capital within me. So while this was happening, side by side parallelly, my mother's colleague's son have cracked this exam called GATE and he got in placement in a very good PSU. So as any Indian parent would, my mom started insisting me that I appear for GATE and I crack it. which is a very technical exam. So when I was exploring that option, I found out that I need to give a lot of hard work. I thought, while I was putting this much of hard work for GATE, why should not I aim something bigger than this? Then I came across IAS, Indian Engineering Services, which is much more technical in nature. But I was not technically competent. So I thought, to become competent in technically, I should put a lot of hard work. So why not I put something in much better than IAS? Then I came across IAS exam. IAS exam was a very generalist exam. Anyone from any background could appear. There is no bar on the percentage. But the statistics were mind-boggling. For example, every year, 10 lakh people apply for this exam. UPSC conducts it and apply for exam. And 6 lakh people will appear for prelims, out of which 15,000 people will be selected for mains, out of which 2,000 people will be shortlisted for interview, and among them, less than 1,000 will be making it to the final list, and among them, in a year, only 180 people make into the IAS services. So this was the statistic. But when I pitched this idea at my home, my mom was in a dilemma. She didn't know whether she is convinced or she is confused. My brother told me that to understand the syllabus itself, it will take you 5 years. But I convinced them saying this is the last option for me to redeem myself, to prove myself. With this thought, I went and I joined a coaching. So while I was attending the coaching, I saw many students in the pretense of preparing for this exam, they were doing time pass. So let me tell you one thing. When you are 19, when you are 20, and when you are still in college, if you are lazy, if you are non-ambitious, if you are mischievous, naughty, it will be overlooked as a youthful behavior. But once, when you are out of this college, and if you are still not focused towards your goal, and if you are still not knowing what needs to be done with your life, and you are not serious about it, then you are doing a grave injustice to none other than yourself. But for me, I didn't have this luxury. So I thought this is my last chance. I need to prove myself. And I believed in the quote of Abdul Kalam, which said, without your involvement, you will won't succeed. And with your involvement, you will won't fail. And I thought, because I had the previous experience of ESET, I thought if I put my whole hard work, I could definitely crack this exam. At that point of time, I was 22 years old. I thought, by 23, I will appear in this exam, and by 24, I will become an IAS officer or an IPS officer. So this was the goal set, and I walked the path. So I started preparing very hard. So hard that I used to study all night. Most of the time, when my study hall mates, when they used to say good night at night, and they used to come in the morning, they used to find me and used to wonder. So this was the mode of preparation. I was going in a path. And when I appeared in 2018 prelims, to my surprise, I qualified it. But it's a surprise for me because coming from my background and qualifying it in first attempt was a difficult task. But there was very short time left for the mains exam. I prepared and I gave it. And when the results came, I was missing the main by the interview by 14 marks. I was not dissatisfied, I was not demotivated, because I thought next attempt, if I focus and if I can improve half mark in each paper, I could definitely qualify it. So with this thing, I focused more on the mains examination, and somehow my prelims preparation was left back, I think. So 2019 prelims came and I appeared in 2019 prelims, and when the result came, I searched and I was not qualified for prelims itself. This was a major setback because I need to wait one more year to appear in prelims, and again one more year for this cycle to continue and the results to be declared. I asked my mom if I could continue this for one more year. She said, okay, your wish. Then I took it as a challenge again and I started preparing. So once when I was in a mood for preparation, this COVID lockdown have happened. And all of us were sent back to our homes. So at my hometown, I prepared. I used to prepare in the morning. In evening, I used to work out and do this running and keep myself fit. So this was the thing. So I thought I will prepare some 100 mock examinations before appearing in the exam. But when this happened, the exam itself have postponed, and I prepared much better and made myself ready for the exam. And once the exam have been done, the lockdown have been eased, and everything, whatever have been shut down, were lifting up. We were called back to Hyderabad, and I was preparing for mains. So one day, the result of prelims come, and a message appears in my chat list that the UPSC is going to release the results soon, and a PDF comes in my chat. I went onto the terrace and I opened the PDF and I typed 2 digits of my hall ticket number. The result was not found, and suddenly my heart shrank down. I was imagining, I typed it again, it was showing not found, and I thought, I ran into the all permutation combinations possible. I thought I will go back to my home and I will switch my career, I will do something else, or I will take a break and I will prepare again. So these were all the things which were running in my mind. So suddenly I opened the chat again. To my surprise, I see that the PDF has been deleted and someone have wrote that this is a fake PDF in circulation. Then by that time I was in a dilemma. I was not happy, I was not sad. So by that time another PDF appears which says this is the correct PDF from UPSC website itself. But I was already, it's like the bullets have gone through the soldier's body. No, nothing can hurt me. I have already ran through all the permutation combinations whichever are possible. With that, I opened the PDF, and again to my surprise, I qualified prelims. And this was the moment I was waiting, because I wanted a chance to appear in mains to improve myself. And I further improved my practice. I improved to the extent that even if I stop writing in the mains, so the hand will write all by itself. So this was the muscle memory I was building. And when the mains happened, I qualified mains. I was called to the interview. And as now it is evident, I was selected for IAS after interview, and I was allotted home cadre Andhra Pradesh after training. So after training in Anantapuram, I was posted as sub-collector in Rampachowadaram, where I conducted 2024 general election. And after that, I also participated in flood relief work of Godavari. Post that, I was been posted as Joint Commissioner in State Taxes Vijayawada. Now I am standing before you all. So while narrating the story, I have highlighted few things which needs to be kept in mind as a young student. But I will summarize few of the points which could be takeaways from this TED Talk. The society always wants to label you being good, bad, average or something. It's for the society to simplify its task, but not for you to take it personally and believe in that labels. Never ever underestimate yourself. I'm not telling it as in some kind of saying, but never ever in your lowest of the times also don't underestimate yourself. Always think high of yourself. Always think that you can do something and you can achieve something. Always aim higher. And it is not sufficient that you are aiming only higher, but you are not coming up with the work. You have to respect your aim. For that aim, you have to show up regularly. And you have to back it up with your hard work. I believe, and also I am of the evidence that hard work can trump anything. And also, let me tell you what anyone would say, success is a mystery. No one can guarantee you when you will succeed, or no one can give you a bulletproof concept that by doing so and so you will be succeeding. I always say that success is an accident. No one knows when it will happen. But that accident to happen, you need to tread on that path. Sometimes going on that path, it will become harsh, it will become tough. But then you have to remember the saying of Winston Churchill that when the going gets tough, keep going. Thank you. Thank you.